Take two, Eric Arnold in the politics barn. We're Sunday morning, the 14th of July, 15 hours ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That's north of Pittsburgh on the western edge of PA. An assassination attempt taking place on former President Donald J. Trump. Shock to absolutely no one that this occurred. And some of us are wondering why it took this long. He survived. One of the attendees of the rally, not so lucky. He's dead. The shooter's dead. Allegedly identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20-year-old, date of birth September 20th, 2003. Allegedly from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. That's a suburb of Pittsburgh, south of Pittsburgh. Well, let's see. I mean, again, who could have seen this coming? But I guess let me walk you through what I saw or what I know. And it isn't that much, frankly. You know, I gave you breaking news there. You're probably like, wow, I didn't know his birthday. Yeah, I know his phone number too. How do you know that? Well, I have access to the Pennsylvania State voter database, and he's in there. You know, it's public information. You can buy it from the Secretary of State for $20. So my version dates back to, I think, 2022. So he's in there, and yeah, he's certainly listed there, and it has a phone number listed for the kid. I actually thought about calling it, but then, you know, I thought, well, I mean, I'll probably just end up talking to an FBI guy. I know who's not going to answer, and that's this cocksucker. But that's the perpetrator, and we know, what else do we know about him? He is a registered Republican. I can confirm that for you. He apparently has donated $15 to Act Blue, which is some far leftist communist group. That's about as far left as it gets. So that's the perpetrator. Fired unknown number of shots. We just really don't know that much right now, which is one of my exasperations, in that this is probably the biggest political story story period since 9/11. And, you know, here we are sitting in the dark like little children being waiting like Oliver in freaking Oliver Twist to get a freaking little handout of porridge. Please, sir, may I have some more? May I have some information, please? But, you know, of course, we have a monolithic government/media complex that works together to censor information. What do I say? Every time I sign off on this channel, I'm Eric Arnold, and I believe in free speech. And one of the reasons I make these videos is because they censor everything. They don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you all the information. They hide, they lie, they obfuscate. So here we are. So what do we know? I mean, I'm watching a ball game with my brother. He starts saying, uh-oh, something's happening. And I thought he was referring to like a trade, you know, because we think about sports and politics, and that's about it. So I thought he might be talking about a Joel Embiid trade or something. But no, it's politics. So we flip on Fox, and then we see the videos that you've all seen by now. And again, where's the information? Now, scouring the internet for info, it appears that this guy was about 130 yards away from the rally on top of a building with what I think I saw them speculate with an AR type weapon. And I'm not a gun guy at all. I believe the AR shoots a small caliber bullet at super high velocities and will basically kill you because of those incredibly high velocities of the projectile. That's, what do I know, again. So that's apparently what he was using. There are at least 2 witnesses who have given interviews which are floating around X. Basically, they are saying, we saw the guy up there prior to the shooting. We notified law enforcement. Now, I don't know who that was exactly, and who was in charge. Was it the state police? Was it the Secret Service? How'd this guy get on the damn roof? And why didn't anything get done? But, now again, at least 2 witnesses, probably means there were even more, because these are just guys that talked to the press, said, I saw the guy. One of the guy has bright red hair. His name may or may not be Greg, and bright red hair, and he said, look, I saw the guy up there. Him and his buddies apparently were not in the rally, that they were outside the rally, because you could hear the president talk from, hundreds of yards away. So they said, we couldn't really see a guy, but we could hear him. That's all we needed. So they said, we saw this guy up on the building. We notified law enforcement. They kind of scratched their heads and said, huh? And then next thing you know, here go the shots. You can see one of the snipers in the background where Trump's speaking, and in the background there's a guy with the classic movie sniper with the backward ball cap and the big ass scope and the rifle and the tripod, and he's looking over that direction. Now, I don't know, does he see the sniper? Does he not see, the assassin? Does he not see him? Who knows? But he doesn't do anything until the bullets start flying. Then he kind of like, holy shit. And then I guess he engages. So again, we don't know. We don't know what happened there. Did he see him? Did he not see him? Did he see him and is talking to somebody on his little walkie-talkie saying, guy's got a gun. He's right there. Should I take him out? No, stand down, stand down. But he's right there. It looks like he's going to shoot. Maybe I should shoot him. No, stand down. What happened there? So, we don't know. We just had to sit and wait like the little boy there at the orphanage. Please, sir, may I have some information? What else do we know? We don't know hardly anything about this guy except, like I said, from south of Pittsburgh, lives with his parents, 20 years old. Does he go to college? We don't know. Does he have a job? We don't know. Does he have a social media footprint? Not anymore. We don't know. We don't know. Here's what I would speculate as. Based on what has not been reported at this juncture, the idea that this kid is some right-wing fanatic who believes that Donald Trump is a liberal plant or is not sufficiently good enough on, say, gun rights, and decides I'm going to take him out because, he isn't Second Amendment enough. I would say that's probably not true. We'd know it already. That would have already been leaked to the media. That would have instantly been leaked by the FBI to the all-too-willing media to report it. The fact that has not come out leads me to believe that that's not what they uncovered. I would guess it's no more than what it appears to be. This is a radicalized young man who hates Trump and is probably a leftist. At a minimum, I think we can say that he hates Trump. Is that fair? Now, this is the second time I'm making this video because the first one just devolved into a scream fest, and I just vented to the gods, or God. You don't like it when you say gods, I know that. I just vented to God about, the evil of this. So I'm going to try to keep this one a little more professional. Probably not like, break up on the microphone 17 times. The Democrat politicians, and I want to make my distinction here. I'm trying to make a distinction here. My brother's a hardcore Democrat. He and I watched this together, and he didn't make inappropriate comments. He didn't make any jokes. I made the jokes because, that's how I often handle things like this. That's just me, when there's some massive tragedy unfolding, that's my defense mechanism. I make inappropriate jokes. So I made some yesterday. Now in the sober light of day, I'm no longer in a jokey mood. I'm pretty annoyed at this moment. It's kind of like you're in shock. You can't believe it's happening. You kind of see it, it's like, all right, the dude survived. Okay, we can joke about it, right? Nothing bad happened. He survived, but this is really a terrible thing that happened, survival or no survival. For one thing, one of our people's dead. We don't know who it is. We don't know who this guy's name is. Right now, I'm just calling this guy Robert Paulson. He has a name, but right now, his name is Robert Paulson because the media hasn't told us who the dead guy is yet. This poor guy just went to a political rally, demonized by probably 2/3 of his neighbors because he had the temerity to go to a rally with Donald Trump. And that was his crime, apparently. Now he's dead. So, and we don't even know his name. The media can't even be bothered to tell us his name. So I'm trying to, where I was going with that, make a distinction between your rank and file Democrat voter and people that should know better, that do know better. Your Democrat politicians, your Democrat elites, your Democrat media, which is basically all of the media. They have run this to its logical conclusion for years. They've let everybody know that Donald Trump is a subhuman, is a monster, is not worthy of breathing the same air that we are. And hey, if something should happen to this guy, he's Hitler. That's not the worst thing that could happen. And it's terrible. It's just evil. It's just flat evil. They know goddamn well that Donald Trump is not a monster. They know it, but hey, they think this is tactic will help them stay in power. So they've been running this tactic nonstop. And it's just, I've told you people again and again and again, and I've told, Democrats too. I don't like talking politics with my Democrat friends because for the most part they're brainwashed and there's no way you can get to them. But I have made the point to them and you that this lawfare is terrible, it's evil, it's the worst thing these people are doing because it's going to get out of control. And this is the logical extension of it. I would say conclusion, but I don't think this is over yet. Obviously, he survived. So, had he been killed yesterday, that may have been a temporary conclusion to the lawfare. Then it would have been up to our side to respond in some fashion. No, I'm not talking about trying to kill one of theirs because our side doesn't believe in that. It's not right. It's evil. And our side's not evil. We are good. You Democrat elite bastards, are evil. And this is the tactic of evil. Well, how can I blame them for this kid and his actions? This kid's 20. He's 20. How old would he have been when Donald Trump initially ran for office? My high school math tells me, about 12? Come on. Where did he learn to hate like this? I guess I'm going to say the media, the internet, the nonstop drumbeat of Donald Trump is evil, Donald Trump is a special kind of a dangerous man. I mean, God almighty, you don't have to look hard at all on the internet to find language that is just basically outright incitement of violence said by damn near every media person, every politician on the Democrat side. It's everywhere, everywhere. I mean, hell, if we want to be unfair about it, we could even go further and just look at, innocent type of statements that I don't like when they're taken out of context. Like, Joe Biden saying, hey, let's put a bullseye on him. I know what he meant. And he's not actually saying, hey, let's assassinate him. But, the Democrats would flip that around on us, God help us, if we said the word bullseye. They have done it. I remember they did it to Sarah Palin. But they have. Other people have actually said things like, this guy needs to get taken out. We need to be rid of him. Hell, some Democrat that works for one of the House members, and I forget her name, but she's an actual person that works for the United States government, for a Democrat House member, said, oh, I wish he had better aim. She just said that. I mean, can you believe that shit? That is so evil. How do you defend that? I mean, they have begged for this to happen, and now it finally has, and I hope they're proud of themselves, to quote Nigel Farage. I hope you're proud of yourselves. The Secret Service's role in this, very suspicious. Again, how does this guy get in an obvious sniper location? How is that uncovered? How is no one there? One of the stories that's making the rounds right now is that the Trump campaign had asked the United States Secret Service for more protection and had been repeatedly denied. So right there, I would say, that's something which definitely should be dug into. Who controls the Secret Service? I believe that's the Treasury Department. I believe that's Janet Yellen. I mean, ultimately, it's all Jill Biden that controls all this. But hey, God help you Democrats if Trump gets back into power. Now, I think what he's going to do is the correct thing, which is just stand down from this lawfare. That's what he should do, and I'm thinking that's what he will do. Basically, just turn the other cheek, which is hilarious, considering what you guys paint this guy as, that he's going to do the Christian thing. Oh, that's right, you guys aren't Christians. You think they're the devil because you are the devil, you bastards. But yeah, I mean, hey, let's have some hearings, right? Why was the extra protection denied Donald Trump? And we all know the answer. They want this guy to get shot. They actually put out a bill basically saying that if this guy gets put in jail, he doesn't get to have any kind of Secret Service protection. Well, gee, why is that? Because they want him to be killed, of course. Let's not put too fine a point on it, and let's not lie for once, Democrats. Tell the truth. The statement Joe Biden put out after the assassination attempt was an insult, just a flat joke. It might have been 50 words. It was basically, we acknowledge that something happened, pending more information, glad this guy's safe, prayers for blah, blah, blah. Violence has no place in this country. We have to unite. Thank you. Have a nice day. That's basically the whole damn statement. I don't know, it was more than, say, 50, 60 words. It's like, that's it? That's all you got, Joe? If Joe Biden wanted to be a real leader and actually do something good for once, he could have come out and said, you know what, this is out of hand. And I acknowledge my role as the leader of my party in this. I have spoken in overheated rhetoric at times, perhaps maybe unintentionally. I apologize. I'm calling on Merrick Garland to immediately drop all charges against Donald Trump in these lawfare cases. This is out of hand. We need to unite at this point. You know, it's just empty platitudes from these cocksuckers because they're not sorry. The only thing they're sorry about is the guy missed. That's all they're sorry about. Now they'll have to try again. Well, we need to unite. Okay, do something. Biden, unite me. You know, here I am. Come over, come halfway and meet me and unite me. But you won't. You won't lift a goddamn finger other than say empty platitudes. We need to unite. Oh, okay. You're the one that's called this guy a monster over and over and over and over and over again. And Shazam, some impressionable kid decides he's going to be a hero and act on it. But it's not your fault, of course. No. Why would that be your fault? Give me a break. Oh, it's exasperating. But, you know, totally predictable. Totally predictable. Jeez. I don't know what else to go here. There's no information. So, you know, we just are left to speculate. I totally believe there will be another attempt on Trump's life. You know, all things being equal right now, and if nothing else changes, Trump's probably going to win. He is probably going to win the election. And these guys have made it pretty clear that they are not okay with that they'll do anything. And I guess that's something that, you know, if the Democrats wanted to try to, you know, turn down the rhetoric, turn down the temperature, they could do something like that, perhaps. Maybe they would say, all right, look, Trump is not a monster. Let's acknowledge that. You know, let's acknowledge that our rhetoric was over the top and, you know, political violence has no part. And, you know, it's like, but you guys just, how do you read some of these speeches that you guys have given? Special danger to democracy, blah, 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 blah. And they know perfectly well none of that is true. It is disgusting. These are disgusting, abhorrent people that should be shunned in polite society, that you should never shake these people's hands. You should turn your back anytime you're in the presence of one of these disgusting, evil people. Just terrible people. I expect them to just double down on evil. I don't think these people give a damn about the country or uniting us or any of this nonsense. You know, I don't know what Donald Trump does from here. I guess if I was him, just keep on keeping on. You know, it's not him. That's the hilarious thing. This isn't Trump. What was his big crime, you know, prior to running for office? Nothing. His big crime was running for office. You know, who was talking about open borders before Trump? Nobody. Who was talking about, hey, maybe we should not have wide open free trade everywhere at all times? Well, I guess Ross Perot. But after that, nobody. Who was talking about not getting involved in every last little brush fire war throughout the planet Earth? Well, I guess Ron Paul, but nobody listens to him. So other than that, nobody. And this isn't the first time this sort of thing's happened. I mean, poor old Rand Paul, one of my favorites. The Pauls are big fans. We're big fans here in the Politics Barn of Ron Paul and Rand Paul. Well, what? Rand Paul was at the congressional baseball practice where a leftist crazy almost killed Steve Scalise, one of the ranking House members in the Republican hierarchy in the House. I'm not sure what his title is right now. He's miraculously almost, I guess he's recovered 100%. Probably not 100%. You know, you get that severely shot. I'm sure there's some things that'll never be the same again. I don't think Paul got shot, but he was there. got his ass kicked, if you will, by his neighbor, a sneak attack, which I think caused him to have some of his lung removed. And the Democrats just laughed it up. Rand Paul, he's probably a bad neighbor. His neighbor, of course, is a Democrat, but it was a neighbor dispute. It had nothing to do with politics, right? And they laughed it up because it's so much fun when Republicans are getting their asses kicked. Laughed it up. You doubt me? Go ahead, look it up. You can find the clips. You can find the clips of the media people just yucking it up. Rand Paul, what a jerk, he asked for it. Him and his wife get shoved around during the Black Lives Matter riots in D.C. Laugh it up. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So funny. So funny. You know, our side's not finding it that funny anymore. We're really getting kind of tired of it, where we're always the target of this bullshit. And you guys like to bring up that January 6th nonsense. Go fuck yourselves. I've had enough of that. Just had enough of that. The comparison that this is somehow not the same or not equivalent. January 6th was a riot that got out of control. Donald Trump didn't tell him to go storm the damn Capitol. From what I saw, Donald Trump said there should be National Guardsmen there, and there weren't, because it was a big-ass trap. This idea there was some kind of an insurrection is bullshit, and if you're dumb enough to believe that, God, I really don't know what to tell you. You're just really pretty stupid, because it was nothing of the sort. And this idea that you've been pounding this and pounding this and pounding this for the last 3 years, well, now you get what you get. I hope you're proud of yourselves. I hope you're proud of yourselves. And where does it end? Where does it end? Like I said, I did get the slight idea yesterday from, at least my brother was not jumping for joy because they tried to kill Trump. He behaved himself very well. I'm not 100% sure all Democrats did that. Most of these Democrats are probably embarrassed today, probably feeling a little bit of shame. I know a lot of them aren't. Throw them over here. If you can't see the evil in this act, I mean, let's turn it around. Let's just say, well, we should take out some of their people. No, we shouldn't. It's evil. It's un-American. We're about to become a third world country is the kind of a place where people take shits on the sidewalk and nobody cleans it up. That's a third world country. I don't want to live in that kind of a place. I don't at all. Any number of other examples you could think of is also a third world country. And that's what we're heading towards, where this kind of political instability, that's a third world country. You have to play fair with the other side. The other side has a right to speak. They have a right to defend themselves. You can't just ignore the rights of the minority, which is everything that these assholes, these Democrat politicians, they want to do away with. They don't believe in that. And you're saying, well, when is it time to fight? Well, I know fighting is not assassinating their leaders. I know that. So, what if you shot Joe Biden? It wouldn't matter. They just replace him with another communist. They all think the same. So it would be a completely pointless exercise. So no, you cannot do that. We don't do that. We are good. We are make America great again. And one of America's fundamental tenets is the right of the other party. And you don't establish that right by shooting them. Something they don't know. Trump, on the other hand, he's a unique individual, like I said. You take him out, hey, suddenly that open border stuff's now in vogue again because a lot of Republicans are in favor of it, or I should say, Republican politicians. The people don't want it, but the powerful, the corporations, the people that pay these Republican politicians, they want open borders. Trump doesn't. Trump speaks for the people. I thought to myself, not being a huge Trump fan, when he ran for re-election again, I was sort of like, well, damn, I'd almost like someone new in there. But, he's going to suck up all the oxygen. There's no way we're going to beat him in the primary. So he's our guy. He's our guy. And one piece of information I thought, or one place where I thought, I admired that. I'm thinking, why is this guy doing it? And of course the Democrats will tell you their talking point, which is a lie, which is bullshit, but that's all they got, is he's doing it to stay out of jail. Are you fucking kidding? These cases were never going to be brought until he ran for office. None of them were, he was not indicted prior to running for office. He wasn't going to be. They made these things up after he declared he was running for office. So this idea that, he's running to stay out of jail. No. They're trying to put him in jail because he's running for office. And I thought about that, and I thought, this guy could have just stayed on the sidelines. Excuse me. Could have just lived the life of a billionaire. Just happy, former president. Hey, they beat me the second time around. No, I think I still won, but, let the other people handle it now. I'm out. I'm just going to play golf and, with my beautiful wife and my beautiful house and live the life of a billionaire. But he didn't do that. He came back for more. And he didn't have to. Well, he's a megalomaniac. He wants to rule the world and kill everyone. Yeah, okay. And where's your evidence of that? You have none. You have none. You have fucking none. He came back because maybe he wants to help the American people. And now they're bankrupting him. They're trying to put him in a cage until he dies, and now they tried to kill him. Are you kidding me? This guy's got balls. And maybe that's what this country needs right now. Some guy with balls who actually knows where to find the American people. Who supports this guy? The rank and file American people. The elites don't like him. The corporations don't like him. The man in the street likes him. Jesus, I just, really frost my ass about what happened yesterday. The more I talk about it, the angrier I get. So I probably should sign off here instead of just ranting in a circle. Who knows, maybe I'm getting more entertaining the angrier I get. Where does this go from that here? I mean, he'll get a big bump in the polls. I don't know if it'll be permanent or not. Americans have a short memory. But, this isn't we're not talking about a gaffe or I interspersed words or anything like that. This is going to be hard to forget. That picture of him standing there bleeding with his fist up, that one's going to stick. That is absolutely going to stick. So I'm thinking that bump in the polls might stay there. It really might stay there. The question now, I guess, is what are the Democrats going to do? If they wanted to unite the country, probably the best thing they could do is simply stop the ridiculous maneuvering to try to win at all costs, stop their idiotic lawfare, which I have told you was going to lead to something like this. I told you over and over and over again how dangerous it was. Who listens to me? And this is the direct result of that. You Democrats that feel sorry, a little embarrassed today, like my brother. I didn't light into him yesterday because, it's kind of a shocking moment and, it's not the right time to point fingers. It's like, well, you don't want him to be shot, but you're okay trying to put him in a cage until he dies before your handpicked jury and your handpicked judge and your rigged trial. You're okay doing that. A totally unfair, never done before type thing because he's running against you. That you're okay trying to do that. Maybe you should check your biases there a little bit because what you're doing is incredibly dangerous. Yeah, I mean, hey, if we're doing that, hey, let's just drop the leading opponent in jail. Why not assassinate an opponent? Why not get rid of them? Just ace them. You know, assassinations are a political tool that has been used repeatedly throughout history. I mean, hell, go right through it. Kennedy, that probably got us into the Vietnam War, Oswald, was he all a lone gunman? Maybe. I think he did it alone, but was somebody talking in his ear to try to push him to it? I don't know. You look at who benefited by Kennedy's death. You wonder there, wow, was that just a random event? Wow, seems pretty coincidental that, some people really benefited from that. Wow, Yeah, so I don't know. We'll get some information in the coming hours and days. You have to check every last thing you're getting. Believe nothing. The FBI is going to tell us stuff. Don't believe it. Double check it. Does it sound true to you or does it sound like lies? These people have no credibility. Zero. They have no credibility. So don't expect or certainly don't believe everything is shoveled to you here in the coming days. All right, I probably could rant more, but then I'd probably just say something completely out of bounds, and I'll just have to start over again, and it'll be take 3. And I'm getting tired, and I want to get this on the internet. So I believe in free speech. Standing there at a podium, talking to your followers, that's free speech. When the other side tries to silence you with a bullet, that's not free speech. That's not kosher. We don't believe in that here in the barn. We do not believe in assassinations here in the barn. I wonder if the Democrats feel the same. Their rhetoric certainly makes you think they do not, that shooting a bad guy like Donald Trump would be okay. I'm curious if Biden, you know the answer. We all know the answer. They're not coming off their stance one iota. They're not going to try to unite us. It's empty platitudes. I promise you. I promise you. There is not going to be one movement out of the Democrat Party to unite anybody after this. They're not going to do one goddamn thing other than mouth empty platitudes. Are they going to announce that they're dropping some of this lawfare? Of course not. Are they going to announce or apologize for some of their overheated rhetoric? Of course not. So, yeah, unite us. Well, go ahead, Joe. I'm waiting. Hey, I believe in free speech. What happened yesterday was a goddamn abomination. It shouldn't happen. It will happen again, but it shouldn't. And we just need to, I don't know what we need to do. Vote for Trump like your life depends on it. Probably does. We'll talk again.